Hi, are you thinking about relocating to the Tampa Bay area? Because when I deal with out-of-state buyers, I often get these same two questions. One, how far is this home from the beach? And two, how far is this home from the airport? And honestly, those are two of the most important questions you should have when you're deciding where to live here. Because depending on where you choose to live, those commute times can look very different. I'm Jennifer Messina, and real estate is actually a second career for me. I relocated to Tampa Bay in 2010 as part of a government move, and at that time my focus was simple. I wanted to be within 30 minutes of my office. I had a young son, and it was very important to me that I could get home in time to pick him up from his after-school program. So for me, commute wasn't just about convenience, it was really about my quality of life at the time while I was commuting. But looking back, I didn't fully understand how different each area was, and I didn't have someone guiding me through. So there were some trade-offs. That experience is exactly why I do things a little bit differently now. When I'm dealing with relocations, I specialize in helping people relocate to the Tampa Bay area, and one of the biggest things we focus on right away is the commute. How long is it really going to take you to get to the airport? How often will you realistically go to the beach? And what does your day-to-day driving actually look like? So let's walk through some of the most popular areas in the Tampa Bay, and we'll break down what those commute times look like so you can start to see what might fit better with your lifestyle. So let's start with Westchase. Westchase is one of the most well-established suburban communities in the Tampa Bay area. It has a strong neighborhood feel. The streets are tree-lined, there's community events, there's golf course, a dog park, walkable restaurants in just about every section. It's a very popular choice for families because of schools and the overall lifestyle. From a standpoint concern, this is where Westchase really shines. You're only about 15 minutes to the airport, which is a huge advantage if you travel often. And you're roughly 35 to 40 minutes to Clearwater Beach, depending on traffic. Now, I'm going to talk about Clearwater Beach over and over again, just to give you a point of reference so that we're going to be consistent as we move through these different communities. Next, I want to talk about Wesley Chapel. Wesley Chapel is one of the fastest growing areas in the Tampa Bay area. This is where you'll find newer construction, master plan communities, and a lot of convenience when it comes to things like shopping and healthcare, schools, restaurant. You'll also find that the communities have amenities like pools and fitness centers and walking trails, and some of them even have man-made lagoon-style living. From a commute perspective, this is where you really start to see the trade-off. You're looking at about 35 minutes to the airport and closer to 45 to 50 minutes to Clearwater Beach. So while you're gaining newer homes with all the amenities, you're also giving up some of that proximity to the highlights in the Tampa Bay and getting around. So let's move on to Clearwater. Clearwater is a great option if being close to the beach is important to you. You've got a mix of suburban neighborhoods, shopping, locally owned restaurants, but the real advantage here is the proximity to the water. You're about 10 minutes to the Clearwater Beach, and that means that the beach, you can actually be part of your regular routine and not just something that you do every once in a while. And you're only about 20 to 25 minutes to the airport, so still very manageable in Clearwater. Now let's talk about St. Pete. St. Pete has a completely different feel. This is an area that's more about lifestyle and walkability and energy. You've got a vibrant downtown, you've got waterfront parks and museums, restaurants, nightlife, and a real strong art scene. From a commute standpoint, you're looking about 25 to 30 minutes to the airport, and you're also 35 to 40 minutes to Clearwater Beach. But you're only about 10 to 15 minutes from the St. Pete beach, so you do have close proximity to a beach. So if you want to be near the water, but you also want an active environment, St. Pete is a great location. Let's talk about Brandon. Brandon is more of a traditional suburban area. You'll find larger neighborhoods, plenty of retail, and generally get more home for your money, meaning you're going to get a bigger home. From a commute standpoint, you're about 25 to 30 minutes to the airport, depending on the traffic, and you're closer to 45 to 50 minutes to the beaches in Clearwater. So you're trading proximity for space and value. And then finally, I want to tell you about South Tampa. South Tampa is one of the most centrally located areas in all of the Tampa Bay area. It's very lifestyle driven. You've got top restaurants, boutiques, and Bayshore Boulevard, which is the longest continuous sidewalk in the entire world. From a commute standpoint, this is one of the most convenient areas. You're about 10 to 15 minutes to the airport and around 35 to 45 minutes to Clearwater Beach. So when you look at all of these areas side by side, you start to see how much commute really impacts your daily life. The difference between 15 minutes and 45 minutes doesn't sound like a lot at first, but when you're doing that drive regularly, it adds up, and it adds up quickly, which can change your lifestyle and how you view that commute. And for me, back when I first moved here, that difference meant the difference between whether I made it on time to pick up my son or I didn't. So that's why I take the time to walk my clients through this before they ever choose a home. If you're thinking about relocating to the Tampa Bay, I would love to help you figure out which location makes the most sense for you and your family, for your commute and your lifestyle. I'd be happy to help. I'm Jennifer Messina, your Tampa Bay relocation real estate resource.